everyone. This is Anna from Koala Soap, and I'm sorry I haven't been online for a little bit. I actually have been helping my mother with some just stuff to get her all settled in her place. So what I wanted to do is I've been doing a lot of embeds lately, and I wanted to see if I could mimic this coaster that I made for one of our family members. It's going to probably be for the holidays. And it's actually dried flowers with some gold flake in there and some leaves. And it's just a coaster, and it's made out of resin. And I show you how to do this on my other channel, All DIY Crafts. I'll leave the link below. The problem is I don't really have a red. I have this from Stardust Micas that says red strawberry, and then I have a green for, you know, the leaves. And then I'm going to use this gold, King Midas gold, which I think is discontinued, but any gold mica will do. And I'm going to be putting it in clear soap. Usually what I do is I'll put an opaque, like shea butter, and then I put that in the clear soap, because for some reason I had it in my mind that that would make it pop more. And I'm actually now wondering where I got that from or why I think that. So the first thing I'm going to do, before I continue, I actually got Dean's book here, The Soap Maker's Journal, and I haven't had a chance to actually fill it out yet, but it's actually great for your recipes. And so that's all it is a book that you can fill out your recipes, and that way you can refer to it whenever you want. And I will see if I can find a link to that, and I'll put it below too. So this is from Dean Wilson, the king of melt and pour soap on the other channel. Okay, so there's that. What we're going to do next is we are going to melt this down. We're going to mix our mica, and then we're going to do these rose silicone molds. I'm going to do this silicone mold, which I got at Hobby Lobby, but I think you can also get it online. And I'm going to use the larger ball mold. I don't have any leaf molds, believe it or not. I need to get some, so I'm going to get some. But I'm going to use these leaves. This mold I can no longer find anymore, but I will leave a substitute mold, which I'm actually also going to get below, and then we'll try that mold out together when I receive it. We're going to just use the leaves here, okay? But any leaf mold will do. So we'll go ahead, and we're going to be using Yuzu Cybella from Brambleberry, and that is it. So let's go ahead and melt this down, and we'll go ahead and get this in our mold. Okay, I only put a little bit of melt and pour in here. I'm just a little, this actually even has a little skin, so I might have to remelt that one. I have alcohol, and it can be 91%, whatever you can find, even I believe in the 70s. So all we're doing is mixing the mica right now. So we're going to go ahead and start with our green, and I really do think I'm going to have to probably remelt this soap, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do here. I try to make them a little hotter, but I don't want to do it too hot because I don't want to mess up the melt and pour. And I'm always using the Crystal Clear Melt and Pour by Crafter's Choice. It's a low sweat, and so I don't have to worry about my glycerin soap sweating a lot. And I'm in Southern California, so that can be an issue. Okay, we're going to put in the gold. And I'm actually going to have to see if Stardust has a red other than this red strawberry. So we will look for that too. So let's see where we're at. This one has a little bit of a skin, but I think we'll be fine for what I'm going to use it for. So we will go ahead and put this in. I'm not going to squirt this with alcohol because this is going to cool it down enough. Also, I'm not going to put any fragrance in this one just because it's so little. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour it into this mold here. Make sure you're working on a flat surface. Okay, we're just going to hope we have enough here to... And I wanted to use the one that had a little bit of skin so that I could use it up. Now that we have this in our mold, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a spatula where you can actually remove it. It's easier for me. And then we'll just wipe it down. onto a silicone mat, and then you can throw everything else in here. So that's done. So what we're going to do next, so we'll put this here so we don't get it mixed up. I think we'll do our roses next. So we will pour this in. And if I want it to be a little bit darker, I'm going to go ahead and squirt some alcohol in that bath bomb mold, which I think I'm going to do. So this will actually, this is a trick that one of my subscribers, and I honestly don't remember who it was years ago. But you squirt the alcohol in there and then you can kind of use everything up. Now I have these rose molds here. Let's go ahead and we will pour those in. And actually I don't even know if I'm going to have enough here. We'll see. I'm just doing it into one of our little pink 6 cavity molds. So I didn't want to use too much because I didn't want to waste any. Oh, it looks like we'll just have enough. Okay, I'm going to put that off to the side. Next we're going to do our leaves, and our leaves are going to be right here. So you want to make sure that your mica is completely dissolved in the alcohol. The alcohol will evaporate off. I know some people have quite a concern about using alcohol mica, but that's just how you get the mica to dissolve and not ruin the melt and pour soap base. And this does have a skin, so we'll see if we can work it out. It has a little bit of a skin, but I think we're going to be okay. And let's just pour it into our leaves. I do not spray my silicone molds with alcohol before pouring. I haven't seen a need for it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong to do. I just personally haven't found a need to do that. That being said, maybe today will be the day that I will go, oh, that's why. Okay, so these are done. We're going to take our little spatula, because I over poured a little bit on this one, and we're going to just make sure these are all flush, which they are now. And then once they dry on this mold here, you can go ahead and here for the gold, just you can pour it right into your leftover. And what I do is I always remelt the soap if it's in there, and I will just pour it into a cavity and we'll save it for next time. There's no scent in there, so it should be okay. So we will come back once these are set, and then we will start on our next phase. Okay, so what I have here is about 2.5 ounces of crystal clear melt and pour soap base. And the reason is, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough to do 1 or 2 cavities of this particular bar of soap. So I thought I'd err on the side of caution here. I'm going to go ahead and melt this down, and I'm going to pour just a little bit in just to cover the bottom part, and then we're going to go ahead and place our embeds. So let's go ahead and get this melted down, and we'll be right back. Okay, we have this melted down, and it's at approximately 150. This needs to be melted down very slowly because you do not want to burn this soap and make it cloudy. So we're going to go ahead and we will pour just a little bit in, just to cover the bottom. Okay, squirt it with alcohol so you get rid of any of the bubbles. And we're going to let that just get a little bit of a skin on it, and then we're going to go ahead and add our embeds. Okay, and we're back. I went ahead and I melted down a little bit more crystal clear melt and pour. There was actually a clump in there, but like I said, you don't want to overdo it. So I just keep stirring it until the clump works its way out. This is at 138 right now, and this should be okay. Now usually what I tell you to do is to score, make some hatch marks with the skewer, and then put your embeds on top. But if you make hatch marks on this layer, you will see them. So this is now at 138. Just make sure. It's 138. So I'm going to pour just a little tiny, like this is going to be very tiny. And it's just, again, enough, because the closer your embeds are to the surface, because these are upside down, remember, the bottom is going to be the top. The closer they are to the surface, the more that you'll be able to see them. So once you squirt them down, move them around, try to get them to cover everything. Now you want to squirt your flowers down, everything in here. The flowers actually do look a little bit close to this color. I'm pleasantly surprised. And then what I'm going to do, I squirt them with alcohol, and then I'm going to just start to place them. And they are slippery when you do this. So I think, and if they stay up, that's great, because sometimes they're going to want to tilt and fall over, and that's not ideal. But now in here I did the gold flake on top. Now I kind of learned that that's probably not the best thing to do, because it kind of hides the flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the gold flake on the bottom. Now this was a slightly different mold, and so this is going to have some different size flowers or roses, and that's okay. So that's great. They're going to stay. And then as far as the leaves go, I'm going to do the leaves kind of behind, like just a few, because I still need to put these little embeds in here. So I'm going to squirt this down, see where we're at here. Probably still in the 130s, I'm not sure though. 130 exactly. And so we're going to pour a little bit. I'm going to try to just cover the roses now. I don't know if I have enough. So we'll work on one at a time, and then we can always go back, remelt. And it looks like I'm going to have enough here. We're going to squirt this with alcohol. And then we are going to lay these down behind the well, I guess not. We weren't going to lay it behind the roses, but they're going to slide right off, it looks like. That's okay. That's fine, actually. I'm not too worried about it. It actually might actually look kind of cute. So I'm actually going to try it here too without worrying too much. They are slippery. I cannot tell you how slippery this stuff is. Okay, so if I fight with this too much, I am going to ruin the clarity, so I'm not going to fight with it. I am going to just put that one like that. Okay. And this is going to be too thick, and I'm going to need a little bit more. Okay, so this is at 101. I need to, actually I might actually be able to add some of those balls into here. Leave that. I don't know, this might work. I was a little worried because I had a fight with one of them, but it doesn't look bad, actually. We'll see. We'll see once we unmold them. There's one there somewhere. Okay, so we've used all of our embeds. We need a little bit more clear melt and pour here. This is going to be on its side, which isn't good, but that's fine. We're going to cover it with a white base. In that white base, we're going to put 1.25 mLs of our fragrance in. Now, I will drop a little bit of it, but sometimes the fragrances are a yellow color. This one, I already checked it, is clear. Okay, so there's no yellow residue here. This is a 3 ml pipette, so about 1.5 is going to be right here in the middle. Sometimes these are yellow, but you don't want to put any fragrance oil into if you're trying to make clear soap, because it's going to make it cloudy, and that it doesn't matter if it's white or yellow, it's just going to do that. So we're going to actually put it in the Shea Butter Melt and Pour soap base. I'm going to go ahead and melt this down, add a little bit more so that we can cover this up, and then so it'll pop, we're going to put an opaque behind it. So that's our. Okay, so we have this melted down. I think it's still a little too hot, but it's starting to get a skin, so I'm a little So 138. So we're going to take our skewer. Now we have to be careful because these can move, so very gently make your hatch marks and always behind your embed. Like this one's not even attached. Oh, just do it for fun. But don't make hatch marks in the clear part, just the part that no one's going to see. Okay, and then you're going to squirt it with alcohol. We'll keep getting a skin here, but let's see where we're at. 132. So just a little thin layer here. Just make sure we get what we need in there. And then we're going to have to do a slightly larger layer here. Okay, so a piece of skin fell in, so what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to dig it out and possibly ruining the soap, I just moved it behind the rose there. I don't know if you can see that. That way it just will not be seen. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to squirt this with alcohol. This is going to dry very quickly. And then we're going to get a little bit of shea butter melted pour. I don't think I'm going to put a color in it. I'm trying to think if I should. I'm going to go ahead and melt the shea butter now, and then I'll think about maybe putting a color in it. We'll see. I'm not sure. So let's get that melted. Okay, so I have my shea butter melt and pour melted down. I put 1.25 mLs of scent in here. I did not color it because this experiment, I wanted to see how clear embeds in a clear soap look, because usually you'll notice in a lot of my videos I'll use the embeds will be in shea butter, so they're more of a pastel. And I don't know if these embeds are going to get lost because you have clear, 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 and then you have just a white background. And I just kind of want to see how they look, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to carefully make our hatch marks, and only on the areas that will not be seen from the front of the soap. Because as I can see now, it looks like the gold ones where they really pop in this, they look like they're getting lost here, so we will see. Okay, we're at 127, so we will have our alcohol in, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour very slowly. And you know, you just really kind of need to pour to cover, which is going to be a little bit hard to do with that green leaf. And that's when, if you have a planer, that will come in handy, because then you can just plane that off, or not. I mean, if it's for family, I think that they'll just appreciate what you're doing anyway. So as you can see, there's a little bit of green poking through here, and that's because one of the leaves, it slipped, and I didn't want to dig around for it and ruin the clear all around it. So we'll see how it looks when we pull it out, and then we can always just kind of cut that little part off so it's smooth. But it looks like there will be a little bit of a green spot there. So we're going to go ahead and let these go ahead and cure. Should be about a couple hours, and then we'll come back and we'll look and see how they look. Okay, and we're back, and these are set. We're going to start with this one because this was kind of our leftover, what we were kind of putting in here. Okay, so I have some, the white background, I probably shouldn't have done, but it does look, it looks very holiday. It really does, with the gold and the green. So it does look really cute. The issue that I have is I don't like the background, but now I know that I can do a clear embed into the clear soap and it won't get lost. I would probably change the background, because even in this, even if I kept it clear, the only reason I didn't want to keep it clear is I didn't want you to see the back of the leaves and stuff. So what we'll do next time is we're going to do another one of these, and we're going to put a different color background on there. But these actually look quite holiday. They're just really, or even springy. So we have another experiment down. So I hope you like this video, and we will see you hopefully next week.